Welcome to another deep dive.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Today we're tackling the world of project management.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to unpack all these insights that our listeners sent our way.
Yeah, it's a topic that's often perceived as dry or
What
technical,
hurt me the most
but
is
actually full of
how project management principles can be applied to almost anything.
fascinating nuances that affect all of us.
From planning a simple weekend getaway to orchestrating a complex space mission.
Whether we're aware of it or not.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
At its core,
Uh.
project management is about taking a structured approach
Universal
to achieve a specific objective,
thing.
regardless of the scale or complexity.
Yeah, and I think for our listener who wants to get a better grasp on this, we're going to start by exploring the fundamental
Right.
building blocks of what actually constitutes a project.
Yeah.
Then we'll delve into the intriguing aspects of the project performance triangle and uncover those surprising S&J shaped paths a project can take.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get started.
All right, first things first. What is a project anyway? I feel like we all use that word.
Yeah.
But could we actually define it?
It's one of those terms that seems deceptively simple until you try to pin down a precise definition.
Mm-hmm.
Our source material actually highlights this challenge by presenting two different definitions.
Oh, that's interesting. Lay 'em on me.
All right, so the first one comes from the American National Standard,
Okay.
and it states that a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service or result.
Okay, that makes sense. It has a beginning and an end, and it's aiming to produce something distinct.
The second definition from the International Organization for Standardization gets a bit more granular. It defines a project as a unique process consisting of a set of coordinated and controlled activities with start and finish dates, undertaken to achieve an objective conforming to specific requirements, including the constraints of time, cost, and resource.
So both definitions emphasize the temporary nature and uniqueness of projects, but the second one dives deeper into the elements of planning, coordination, and resource management.
Precisely. And those elements are what distinguish a project from ongoing operational work.
Our sources provide some real-world examples that help clarify these definitions,
Yeah.
like developing a watershed, creating an irrigation facility, or developing a new crop variety. These are all vastly different endeavors,
Yeah.
but they all fit the bill as projects.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that despite this huge variety,
Right.
projects share some common characteristics
Yeah.
that are crucial to their success.
Okay, let's break those down. What are some of these shared characteristics?
Well, first and foremost, every project is unique in nature. It's not simply a repetition of routine tasks.
That makes sense. You can't just copy-paste a plan from one project to another.
Right.
Each project has its own specific goals, constraints, and challenges. What else?
Every project also has definite objectives or goals that it aims to achieve.
Right.
This might seem obvious,
Yeah.
but clearly defining those objectives from the outset is crucial for keeping the project on track.
It's like setting a destination before you start a road trip. You need to know where you're going to plan the route effectively.
And just like a road trip requires fuel and resources,
Right.
every project also needs resources to get the job done.
Yeah.
This could include people, materials, technology, funding, you name it.
And to tie that back to our listener, thinking about resource allocation early on is critical.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're working with a limited budget or tight deadlines.
Absolutely. And speaking of deadlines,
Yeah.
every project has a specific time frame with a defined start and finish.
So it's not just about what you're trying to achieve, but also when you need to achieve it by...
Precisely. Effective time management is essential for ensuring that a project stays on schedule and meets its deadlines.
But even with the best planning, it seems like there are always unexpected twists and turns along the way.
That's right. Risk and uncertainty are inherent in every project. Things can change.
Right.
Problems can arise.
Yeah.
And it's crucial to anticipate and manage those risks effectively.
So it's not about avoiding risk altogether,
No.
but rather about having strategies in place to mitigate those risks and adapt to changing circumstances.
Exactly. And often navigating those complexities
Yeah.
requires a diverse team
Okay.
with various areas of expertise.
Our source material emphasizes this point about the importance of cross-functional teams and an interdisciplinary approach.
Collaboration is key in project management.
Yeah.
Bringing together individuals with different skills, perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and experiences can foster innovation and lead to more creative solutions.
It's like that saying, two heads are better than one, or in the case of complex projects, maybe
Yeah.
even 10 heads are better than one.
Perhaps, but Managing all these different elements, the goals, resources,
Yeah.
timelines, risks,
Yeah.
and team dynamics can sometimes feel like juggling flaming torches.
That's a pretty vivid image.
Yeah,
And I think that's where the concept of the project performance triangle comes in.
it's sometimes called the quality triangle,
Yeah.
and it's a framework that's incredibly helpful for visualizing the complex relationships within a project.
Yeah.
It's an equilateral triangle with each side representing a key dimension.
Okay.
Scope, time, and resources,
Mm-hmm.
which often translates to cost.
Okay, so each side of the triangle represents a crucial aspect of the project.
Right.
But what makes this triangle so insightful?
The key takeaway here is that these three dimensions
Right.
are interconnected and interactive. A change in one will inevitably have a ripple effect on the others.
That makes sense. It's like a balancing act.
Right.
If you increase the scope of the project, it's likely to require more time or resources.
Exactly.
Or if you want to reduce the time, you might have to scale back the scope
Right.
or allocate more resources.
Precisely. Our sources give some great examples to illustrate this dynamic.
Okay.
They mentioned that enlarging the scope of a project, let's say adding a new feature to a product,
Uh-huh.
would likely require more time and cost.
Okay.
Conversely,
Yeah.
if you're trying to meet a tight deadline,
Mm-hmm.
you might have to reduce the scope or find ways to increase efficiency
Right.
to deliver within that given time frame.
So the project performance triangle is not just a theoretical model. It's a practical tool that can help project managers make tough decisions
Exactly.
and understand the trade-offs involved in every choice.
And for our listener,
Yeah.
understanding these interdependencies is crucial for setting realistic expectations and managing projects effectively.
Yeah.
Whether you're leading a team or simply participating in a project,
Right.
being aware of how changes in one dimension can impact the others
Yeah.
is essential for successful project execution.
It's like a puzzle where you have to adjust the pieces carefully to make sure everything fits together.
Right.
Now let's move on to another fascinating aspect of project management, the project life cycle.
Okay.
Every project, just like a living organism, goes through a life cycle from its initial conception to its eventual completion.
That's a great analogy.
Right?
And just like there are different stages in a human life, childhood,
Yeah.
adolescence, adulthood projects also go through distinct phases.
Our sources mention that while there's no universal agreement on the exact number of phases,
Yeah.
a typical project goes through 4 key stages:
Okay.
conceptualization, planning, execution, and termination.
Each phase plays a critical role
Yeah.
in the overall success of the project.
I-
And understanding the characteristics of each phase is crucial for effective project management.
All right, let's walk through these stages. What happens during the conceptualization phase?
Okay.
I imagine this is where the initial spark of an idea ignites.
Exactly. It all starts with an idea, a vision for something new or different. During this phase,
Yeah.
you explore various possibilities,
Okay.
conduct feasibility studies, and develop a proposal that outlines the project's objectives and scope.
So it's all about brainstorming, researching,
Yeah.
and fleshing out that initial idea to see if it's worth pursuing.
It's a crucial stage where you lay the groundwork for the project and determine whether it aligns with the organization's strategic goals and available resources.
Okay, then comes the planning phase.
Right.
This is where you roll up your sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty details.
Yes, precisely. Once you have a solid concept, you move into the planning phase where you develop detailed blueprints for the project.
Okay.
This includes outlining specific activities, determining the necessary resources, establishing a budget, and creating a timeline for completion.
So you're essentially creating a roadmap for the entire project journey.
Right.
Making sure you've got all the necessary directions and supplies before you set off.
Exactly. A well-defined plan is essential for keeping the project on track, ensuring that everyone involved understands their roles and responsibilities,
Right.
and minimizing the risk of surprises down the road.
Then comes the most exciting part,
Yeah.
the execution phase.
Right.
This is where you put the plan into action and things start to take shape.
It's the doing phase of the project, where you see the concept come to life.
Okay.
It involves coordinating tasks, managing resources,
Yeah.
monitoring progress, and making any necessary adjustments along the way.
So it's a dynamic stage where you have to be adaptable and responsive to any challenges or changes that arise.
Absolutely. Execution is all about putting the plan into motion while remaining flexible enough to navigate unexpected obstacles and seize opportunities for improvement.
And
Yeah.
finally, we reach the termination phase,
Okay.
which might sound a bit ominous,
Yeah.
but it's actually the culmination of all your hard work.
Exactly.
It's about wrapping things up,
Right.
celebrating your accomplishments,
Mm-hmm.
and ensuring a smooth transition to the next stage.
Termination involves formally closing the project,
Okay.
handing over deliverables,
Mm-hmm.
documenting lessons learned,
Yeah.
and recognizing the team's contribution.
So it's not just about finishing the project.
Right.
It's also about reflecting on what went well,
Yes.
what could have been done better,
Mhm.
and capturing those valuable learnings for future projects.
It's also about ensuring that the project outcomes are properly integrated into the organization's operations or handed over to the intended beneficiary.
Okay, so we've established that projects go through these distinct phases,
Mm-hmm.
but here's where it gets really interesting. The shape of that journey. Remember how we mentioned earlier that projects can follow different life cycle paths?
Mm-hmm.
Let's explore this intriguing concept of the S and J shaped paths.
This is where we visualize the progress of a project over time.
Yeah.
And it's often not as linear as one might assume.
All right, I'm curious, what do these different paths look like?
That's-
Paint me a picture.
Imagine an S shape
Okay.
that represents a project that starts slowly,
Mm-hmm.
picks up momentum during the execution phase,
Uh-huh.
and then slows down again as it approaches completion.
I'm trying to visualize that.
Yeah.
Why would a project follow that kind of trajectory?
Well, our sources give the example of a watershed project,
Okay.
which often involves extensive planning and coordination among various stakeholders.
So there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be laid before you can really dive into the execution phase.
Exactly. You might need to secure approvals,
Mm-hmm.
conduct environmental assessments,
Okay.
engage with local communities,
Uh-huh.
and ensure that everyone is on board before you can start digging or planting trees.
Right.
That initial phase
Yeah.
can take time and contribute to the slow start of the S-curve.
But then once those foundational elements are in place, things start to move more rapidly.
Precisely. As the project progresses,
Yeah.
you see rapid progress during the implementation phase as activities ramp up and the project gains momentum.
But then it slows down again towards the end. What causes that final taper?
Often, the final stages of a project
Okay.
involve tasks
Uh,
that are less about physical implementation and more about ensuring long-term sustainability and impact.
okay.
In the case of a watershed project,
Yeah.
this could involve creating institutional arrangements for ongoing maintenance,
Mm-hmm.
monitoring the project's ecological impact, and ensuring community engagement for long-term stewardship.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not just about building something, it's about ensuring that what you've built continues to function and deliver benefits over time.
Precisely. And those final stages
Okay.
often require careful coordination.
Data collection and relationship building, which can contribute to the slowing down of the project towards the end.
All right, so that's the S-shaped path.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about the J-shape?
Okay.
What kind of projects follow that trajectory?
A J-shaped path represents a project that starts slowly,
Okay.
but then accelerates rapidly as it moves towards completion.
Okay, our source uses the example of developing an energy plantation.
Right.
Why would that kind of project follow a J shape?
Think about the initial stages of developing an energy plantation.
Okay.
You might need to prepare the land, which could involve clearing,
Yeah.
tilling, and fertilizing.
Okay.
Then you need to cultivate the seedlings and wait for them to reach a certain size
Mhm.
before you can transplant them.
So there's a lot of upfront work that requires patience and attention to detail,
Yes,
but doesn't necessarily translate to rapid visible progress.
exactly. But once the land is prepared
Right.
and the seedlings are ready for transplantation.
Yeah. The project can progress much faster.
Okay.
You can plant vast areas relatively quickly,
Uh-huh.
and the growth of the plantation becomes more exponential.
So the initial slow start is followed by a period of rapid acceleration
Yeah.
as the plantation begins to take shape.
Precisely. And this understanding of the J-shaped path can be incredibly helpful for managing expectations and resource allocation.
Mm.
Knowing that there will be a period of rapid progress after the initial slow start allows you to plan accordingly.
I'm realizing that simply visualizing the life cycle path can give you a whole new perspective
Yeah.
on how a project might evolve over time.
Right.
It's like having a crystal ball that helps you anticipate challenges
Mhm.
and adjust your approach.
And for our listener,
Yeah.
thinking about their own projects in terms of these S and J shapes can be a valuable exercise.
Okay.
Do you see your project following a slow and steady path,
Mm-hmm.
or is it likely to experience a sudden burst of growth?
That awareness can influence everything from how you allocate resources to how you communicate progress to stakeholders.
It's a tool for setting realistic expectations and navigating the unpredictable nature of project management.
Now let's touch upon another aspect of understanding projects: classification.
Okay.
Our source mentions that there isn't a standard system for classifying projects,
Right.
but they do highlight two broad categories:
Mhm.
industrial and developmental projects.
These categories help us understand the different purposes and objectives that drive projects.
Okay, so what's the key distinction between these two types of projects?
Industrial projects,
Uh-huh.
also known as commercial projects,
Okay.
are primarily focused on generating profit.
All right.
They aim to provide goods or services to meet market demands and generate financial returns for the investors or stakeholders involved.
The sources give examples like developing complex fertilizers
Yeah.
or building agro-processing infrastructure. Those sound like ventures that are driven by market forces and the pursuit of profit.
Exactly.
What about developmental projects? How are they different?
Developmental projects are geared towards broader societal goals,
Okay.
often aiming to facilitate overall economic development or improve the well-being of communities.
Okay.
They often involve initiatives in sectors like irrigation,
Uh-huh.
agriculture,
Yeah.
infrastructure, health,
Right.
and education projects.
So while industrial projects are motivated by profit, developmental projects are driven by a desire to create positive social or environmental impact.
That's a good way to put it.
And this distinction influences many aspects of the project, from
Yeah.
funding sources to evaluation metrics.
It underscores the importance of understanding the context in which a project operates.
Our sources highlight some key differences.
Okay.
For instance, industrial projects tend to be smaller in scale
Right.
compared to developmental projects,
Yeah.
which can be quite large and complex.
And while industrial projects typically involve entrepreneurs or corporations as promoters, developmental projects are often initiated by government agencies,
Okay.
public sector organizations, or NGOs.
There are also differences in how profitability is assessed.
Right.
Industrial projects often use metrics like the internal rate of return, which
Yeah.
focuses on financial gains, while developmental projects might use metrics like the economic rate of return,
Exactly.
which takes into account broader societal benefits.
Funding sources and financial arrangements also differ.
Okay.
Industrial projects often rely on national stock markets and domestic financial institutions, while developmental projects might seek funding from international organizations like the World Bank,
Yeah.
the IMF,
Okay.
or regional development banks.
It's fascinating to see how the underlying purpose of a project shapes its entire structure and financial model.
It underscores the importance of understanding the context in which a project operates.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's shift our focus to the why of project management. Why is this approach so valuable in the first place? What are the benefits of adopting a structured project management approach?
Project management provides a framework for tackling complexity, managing risks,
Right.
and ensuring that projects are completed efficiently and effectively.
Yeah.
It's about maximizing the chances of success while minimizing the potential for setbacks.
Our source material highlights three key benefits.
Okay.
First, a structured approach helps in handling complex, costly, and risky assignments,
Right.
especially those that involve a high degree of uncertainty and require expertise from multiple disciplines.
They give the example of research and development organizations,
Okay.
where projects often push the boundaries of knowledge and involve a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
A structured project management approach provides the tools and processes for managing those complexities and mitigating risks,
Right.
ensuring that even in the face of uncertainty, there's a roadmap for moving forward.
The second benefit mentioned is the ability to complete assignments within a specific time frame.
In industries that produce capital goods,
Okay.
where meeting deadlines is critical for customer satisfaction and maintaining a competitive edge,
Yeah.
project management methodologies,
Right.
with their emphasis on time management and scheduling, are essential.
So it's not just about getting things done.
Right.
It's about getting them done on time and within budget.
Yeah.
Which is crucial for any organization's success.
And the final benefit highlighted in our sources
Okay.
is the ability to provide task orientation to personnel, especially in settings where teams of individuals are working on different aspects of a complex project.
Okay.
They give the example of IT companies handling software development, where you might have programmers, designers, testers, and project managers all working together.
Right.
A project management approach helps to define clear roles and responsibilities, ensuring that everyone is working towards a common goal
Right.
and that their individual contributions are aligned with the overall project objectives.
So it's not just about managing time and resources. It's
Yeah.
also about fostering effective collaboration and communication within the project team.
A well-defined project management system creates a structured environment
Yeah.
that promotes teamwork,
Right.
accountability, and efficient execution.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the definition of a project, its key characteristics,
Right.
the project performance triangle, the different phases of the project life cycle,
Yeah.
and the intriguing S&J-shaped paths a project can take.
And we've delved into the distinction between industrial and developmental projects, as well as the key benefits of adopting a structured project management approach.
But there's so much more to uncover.
Right.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll continue to explore the intricacies of project management and delve into some of the tools and techniques that can help turn those ambitious plans into tangible results.
All right.
See you next time.
Looking forward to it. Welcome back.
Oh,
In part 1,
yeah.
we established a solid understanding of what defines a project, its key characteristics,
Yeah.
and the interconnected forces that shape its journey from start to finish.
Right. We explored the balancing act of the project performance triangle and saw how projects can unfold along these fascinating S&J shaped paths,
Right.
like navigating a winding road with unexpected curves. But now I'm really curious about the practical side of things.
Okay.
What are the actual tools and techniques that project managers use to wrangle all that complexity and bring those ambitious plans to life?
That's a great question. And it's where the rubber really meets the road
Yeah.
in project management.
Okay.
Let's start with one of the most fundamental concepts, the work breakdown structure,
Okay.
or WBS for short.
Work breakdown structure. The name sounds a bit intimidating, to be honest.
Right.
Like something you'd encounter in a highly technical engineering manual.
It might sound complex,
Yeah.
but it's actually a surprisingly straightforward and incredibly powerful tool.
Okay.
Imagine taking a massive, multifaceted project and breaking it down into smaller,
Right.
more manageable chunks.
Okay. I can see how that would make a daunting project feel less overwhelming.
Exactly.
Sort of like tackling a giant jigsaw puzzle one section at a time.
Exactly. The WBS helps you decompose the project into a hierarchical structure
Okay.
of tasks and subtasks, making it easier to plan,
Right.
assign responsibilities,
Yeah.
track progress,
Uh-huh.
and ensure that nothing falls through the cracks.
So instead of staring at this monolithic project and feeling paralyzed, you can focus on completing these smaller,
Right.
more digestible pieces.
It's all about transforming the abstract into the concrete,
Right.
the
Right.
overwhelming into the manageable. The WBS provides a clear roadmap for the entire project,
Right.
ensuring that everyone understands the individual components and how they fit into the bigger picture.
But how do you ensure that breaking down a project into smaller parts
Right.
doesn't lead to losing sight of that big picture?
Okay.
I could see how getting hyper-focused on individual tasks might make you lose track of the overall project goals.
That's a valid concern,
Yeah.
and it highlights the importance of maintaining a strong connection between the WBS and the project's overall objectives.
Okay.
The individual tasks and subtasks
Yeah.
in the WBS should always be aligned with those overarching goals.
Right.
And regular communication and progress checks are essential for ensuring that everyone stays on track.
So it's not just about breaking things down, it's
Yeah.
also about consistently weaving those pieces back into the larger tapestry of the project.
Exactly. Now, let's say you've got your project broken down into manageable pieces using the WBS. The next challenge is making sure everything stays on schedule and that you're meeting those deadlines.
That's where I imagine things can get really tricky, especially with complex projects involving multiple teams and interdependent tasks.
Exactly.
How do project managers keep everything synchronized and ensure that the project flows smoothly?
That's where Gantt charts come in.
Okay.
They're visual representations of the project schedule, showing the start and end dates of each task, as well as any dependencies between those tasks.
Dependencies.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Some tasks can't begin until others are completed.
Okay.
For example, you can't start painting the walls of a house
Right.
before the foundation is laid and the framing is up.
So a Gantt chart helps you visualize not just the timeline of each task,
Right.
but also the critical sequence of those tasks
Right.
and any potential bottlenecks that might
Yes.
arise.
It's like a roadmap that shows you not just the destination,
Right.
but also the best route to get there.
Exactly. It's a visual aid that fosters communication, collaboration, and transparency, ensuring that the entire team is on the same page regarding the project schedule and any potential roadblocks.
Absolutely. It's a tool that empowers project managers to proactively identify and address potential delays,
Okay.
keeping the project on track, and minimizing the risk of those dreaded deadline crunches.
Okay, so we've got the WBS to break down the project
Oh, wow.
and Gantt charts to keep track of the schedule.
Right.
What other tools or techniques are commonly used in the project management toolbox?
Risk management is another
Yes.
critical aspect of project management.
Right, those pesky uncertainties we talked about earlier.
So
No matter
many.
how meticulously you plan,
Yeah,
there are always unexpected events
that's right.
that can throw a wrench into the works.
Uh-huh.
How do project managers deal with those inevitable unknowns?
They use a process called risk assessment,
Okay.
which involves systematically identifying potential risks, analyzing their likelihood and potential impact, and then developing strategies to either mitigate or manage those risks.
So it's not just about hoping for the best and crossing your fingers. It's
Yeah.
about actively anticipating those what-if scenarios and having contingency plans in place.
Precisely. Effective risk management is about being proactive, not reactive.
Okay.
It involves identifying potential hazards before they become major problems,
Right.
evaluating their potential consequences, and developing strategies to either avoid, minimize,
Yeah.
or transfer those risks.
So you might have a backup supplier lined up in case your primary supplier experiences delays,
Right.
or you might build in some buffer time to the schedule to account for potential unforeseen issues.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging that uncertainty is a given in any project
Yeah.
and building in safeguards to minimize the impact of those unknowns.
I'm starting to realize that project management is as much about managing the unpredictable as it is about managing the planned aspects of a project.
You're absolutely right. And that brings us to a dimension of project management
Okay.
that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial. The human element.
Okay.
We can have all the fancy tools and techniques in the world,
Right.
but ultimately projects are driven by people.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about processes and structures, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's the people who are doing the work,
Right.
making the decisions, and ultimately determining the success of a project.
Precisely. Project management is as much about managing people as it is about managing tasks and resources.
Okay.
And that requires a different set of skills
Yeah.
and a deep understanding of human dynamics.
So what are some of the key considerations when it comes to managing the human side of projects?
Okay.
What makes for a successful and cohesive project team?
Communication is paramount.
Okay.
Effective communication is the lifeblood of any successful project. It's essential for keeping everyone informed,
Yeah.
aligned, and motivated.
It's about creating a culture of transparency where information flows freely
Exactly.
and everyone feels comfortable voicing their opinions and concerns.
Regular team meetings, clear communication channels, and
Yeah.
open dialogue
Right.
are vital for ensuring that everyone is on the same page, that potential misunderstandings are addressed promply,
Yeah.
and that everyone feels like a valued member of the team.
But what about conflict?
Yeah.
It seems inevitable that disagreements will arise when you have a group of people working together, especially under pressure. How do you manage those inevitable clashes of personalities or differences of opinion?
Conflict is a natural part of any collaborative effort.
Right.
It's not about avoiding conflict altogether,
Okay.
but rather about managing it constructively. Project managers need to foster an environment where team members feel safe voicing their concerns,
Yeah.
where disagreements are seen as opportunities for growth and learning, and where conflicts are resolved in a way that strengthens relationships rather than damaging them.
So it's about turning those potentially disruptive moments into opportunities for creative problem solving and team building.
Precisely. Conflict, when managed well, can lead to better decisions, more innovative solutions, and a stronger sense of team cohesion.
That's a really interesting perspective. It's about shifting your mindset from seeing conflict as a threat to seeing it as a potential catalyst for positive change.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect of managing the human side of projects: leadership.
Ah, yes. The art of inspiring and motivating a team to achieve a shared goal.
Yeah.
What distinguishes a truly great project leader?
Effective project leaders are not just taskmasters.
Okay.
They're visionaries, communicators, and motivators.
Yeah.
They're able to articulate a clear and compelling vision for the project, inspire their team to buy into that vision, and empower them to do their best work.
They need to be able to create a sense of purpose and shared ownership,
Exactly.
not just delegate tasks,
And they also need to be adaptable,
right?
decisive, and able to navigate challenges with a steady hand.
Okay.
They need to make tough decisions when necessary while maintaining the trust and respect of their team.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act,
Yeah.
requiring a blend of technical expertise, interpersonal skills, and emotional intelligence.
It's a demanding role,
Yeah.
but also incredibly rewarding.
Okay.
There's a deep satisfaction in seeing a project come to fruition thanks to the collective effort
Right.
of a talented and motivated team.
We've talked a lot about the internal workings of projects,
Yeah.
the tools,
Yeah.
techniques, and human dynamics.
Right.
But let's not forget about the broader context in which projects operate.
Okay.
Projects don't exist in a vacuum, do they?
You're absolutely right. Projects are embedded within organizations,
Yeah.
industries, and even global systems,
Right.
influenced by external factors that can shape their trajectory and impact their outcomes.
So what are some of those external forces that project managers need to be aware of and adapt to?
One important factor
Okay.
is the organizational structure of the company or institution undertaking the project.
You mean whether it's a traditional hierarchical structure, a more matrixed organization,
Yeah.
or a flatter, more agile setup?
Exactly. The organizational structure can significantly influence communication pathways, decision-making processes,
Yeah.
and the overall culture of the project team.
So a project operating within a highly bureaucratic organization
Right.
might face different challenges and require different management approaches compared to a project within a more nimble
Exactly.
and decentralized startup.
And then there are industry trends and best practices that are constantly evolving.
Okay.
Project managers need to stay abreast of the latest developments in their field, whether it's new technologies, methodologies,
Right.
or regulatory requirements.
But like being on a treadmill that's constantly speeding up, you have to keep learning and adapting to stay ahead of the curve.
And then, of course, there's the increasing importance of sustainability in project management.
Right. Sustainability is no longer just a buzzword. It's a core value
That's right.
that's shaping decision-making
Yeah.
across all sectors.
Exactly.
How is that trend influencing project management practices?
Sustainability considerations are becoming increasingly integrated into project planning and execution.
It's not just about completing the project on time and within budget,
Right.
but also about considering the environmental, social, and economic impacts of the project.
Exactly. Sustainable project management involves incorporating practices that minimize negative impacts and maximize positive outcomes for all stakeholders.
So it's about taking a holistic view of the project's life cycle, from sourcing materials responsibly to minimizing waste, to ensuring that the project benefits the community in which it's implemented.
It's about integrating sustainability into every phase of the project, from the initial conceptualization to the final termination and beyond.
Now, let's zoom out even further and consider the global forces
Okay?
that are shaping the field of project management. What are some of the mega trends that are influencing how projects are planned and executed in today's rapidly changing world?
One major trend that's reshaping the workplace is the rise of remote work and virtual teams.
Ah, yes, the new reality of working from anywhere,
Exactly.
anytime. How is that impacting the way projects are managed?
It's requiring project managers to adapt their communication and collaboration strategies. They need to find ways to build trust,
Yeah.
foster camaraderie, and ensure effective communication, even when team members are not physically present in the same location.
So it's not just about mastering the technical tools of video conferencing and online collaboration platforms. It's also about creating a sense of connection and shared purpose in a virtual environment.
Exactly. And that requires a different set of leadership skills and a willingness to embrace new ways of working.
Another major trend that our sources highlight is the increasing complexity of projects.
Projects are becoming more intricate,
Yeah.
involving more stakeholders, spanning multiple disciplines,
Right.
and often operating across geographical boundaries.
So it's no longer enough to just be a subject matter expert.
Right.
You also need to be adept at navigating complex stakeholder relationships, coordinating efforts across diverse teams, and managing projects that are increasingly global in scope.
This increasing complexity demands new approaches to project management.
Project managers need to be comfortable with ambiguity,
Exactly.
adept at problem solving, and skilled at orchestrating efforts across a complex web of interdependencies.
It's a challenging but exciting time to be in the field of project management.
Yeah.
As projects become more complex and interconnected,
Right.
the demand for skilled project managers continues to grow.
So if you thrive on challenges, enjoy solving problems, and have a knack for bringing people together, a career in project management might be the perfect fit.
It's a field that offers endless opportunities for growth,
Okay.
learning, and making a real impact.
We've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the tools and techniques that project managers use to bring structure and clarity to complex endeavors.
Right.
We've also discussed the human dynamics that underpin successful project teams and the broader context in which projects operate, from organizational structures to global trends.
But our exploration isn't over yet.
Okay.
Stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive,
Right.
where we'll tackle a dimension that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial to the long-term success and sustainability of any project, the ethical considerations of project management.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of project management.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the fundamental characteristics of projects to the tools and techniques used to manage them and the complex human dynamics at play.
Right.
But there's one crucial dimension we haven't explored yet.
Okay.
And it's something that really resonated with me when I was going through our listeners' research notes.
I think I know where you're headed with this.
Okay.
We're going to talk about ethics in project management.
You got it. It's not something you typically associate with spreadsheets and Gantt charts, right?
Right.
But as I was digging into the material,
Right, yeah.
I realized that ethics is kind of woven into the very fabric of project management.
Yeah.
Influencing every decision and action we take.
It's about ensuring that our actions are aligned with our values and that we're considering the well-being of all those affected by the project, not just the bottom line.
Exactly. Ethical project management is about more than just achieving the project objectives.
Right.
It's about doing so in a way that upholds our moral compass and contributes to a more just and sustainable world.
I think a lot of people assume that ethics is just about avoiding blatant wrongdoing,
Yeah.
but it's actually a much more nuanced and pervasive aspect of project management.
All right, so let's unpack this a bit.
Okay.
What are some of the key ethical principles that should be guiding project managers?
One fundamental principle is honesty and integrity.
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's about being truthful in our communication, transparent in our dealings,
Right.
and acting with integrity in all our interactions.
Precisely. Ethical project managers are upfront about potential challenges. Don't sugarcoat progress reports and avoid conflicts of interest that could compromise their objectivity.
So it's not just about what you say, it's also about what you do
Yeah.
and how you conduct yourself throughout the project.
Exactly. And this ties into another key ethical principle.
Yeah.
Fairness.
Okay, fairness in terms of how you treat everyone involved in the project, team members, stakeholders, contractors, even the community where the project is taking place.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about treating all stakeholders equitably, considering their perspectives, and making decisions that are just and impartial.
So it's about creating a level playing field where everyone feels valued, respected, and heard, regardless of their role or position in the project hierarchy.
Precisely. Ethical project managers avoid favoritism, promote diversity and inclusion, and create a workplace culture that is free from discrimination and harassment.
Another ethical principle that our source material emphasizes is respect for confidentiality.
Projects often involve sensitive information, proprietary data, or personal details about stakeholders. And it's essential that project managers handle that information responsibly.
So it's about safeguarding confidential data,
Mm,
being discreet in your communications,
right.
and only disclosing information when authorized or required by law.
Exactly. Ethical project managers are mindful of the trust that's been placed in them
Hmm.
and take appropriate measures to protect sensitive information from unauthorized access or disclosure.
And of
Yeah.
course, there's the principle of responsibility,
Yeah.
taking ownership of our actions and being accountable for the outcomes of the project.
That's right. It's about acknowledging that our decisions have consequences
Uh-huh.
and being willing to stand behind those decisions even when things don't go as planned.
Ethical project managers strive for excellence,
Right.
are diligent in their work,
Yeah.
and are willing to admit mistakes and learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
They also take responsibility for the project's impact on the environment and the well-being of the community.
They recognize that their actions have ripple effects
Mm.
that extend beyond the immediate project goals
Yeah.
and strive to make choices that contribute to a more sustainable and just world.
Okay, we've talked about these key ethical principles,
Right.
but how do they actually translate into the day-to-day reality of managing projects?
Okay.
Can you give me some concrete examples?
Certainly, let's take the example of resource allocation,
Yeah.
which we discussed earlier.
Mhm.
It's often a source of tension in projects,
Yeah.
especially when resources are limited.
You have to make tough choices about who gets what, when, and how much.
Exactly. And that's where ethical considerations come into play.
Okay.
An ethical project manager will allocate resources fairly
Mm-hmm.
based on the needs of the project and the skills of the team members.
Okay.
They won't play favorites, give preferential treatment to certain individuals,
Right.
or make decisions based on personal relationships.
So it's about ensuring that the resources are used effectively and efficiently to achieve the project objectives.
While also being mindful of treating everyone fairly and giving them an equal opportunity to contribute.
Precisely. Another example is dealing with conflicts of interest,
Okay.
which are bound to arise in any project involving multiple stakeholders with potentially competing interests.
Those situations can be really tricky to navigate.
Yeah.
How does an ethical project manager approach those sensitive situations?
Transparency is key.
Okay.
Ethical project managers disclose any potential conflicts of interest up front,
Mhm.
clearly outlining the situation to all parties involved.
Right.
And if their impartiality is compromised,
Yeah.
they recuse themselves from the decision-making process.
So it's about prioritizing the project's best interests
Right.
over any personal gain or allegiance.
Exactly. Ethical project managers make their decisions based on what's best for the project and the stakeholders involved, even if it means stepping back from a situation where they might personally benefit.
That takes a lot of integrity.
It does, and it speaks to the character and commitment of ethical project managers. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future of project management.
Okay.
What are some of the emerging trends and challenges that are shaping this field as we move further into the 21st century?
One major trend that's gaining momentum is the increasing adoption of agile methodologies,
Okay.
which we touched upon earlier.
Agile, that's a buzzword you hear everywhere these days.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean in the context of project management?
Agile methodologies are all about embracing flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
collaboration,
Yeah.
and iterative development.
Okay.
It's a departure from traditional waterfall methods,
Right.
which often rely on rigid sequential processes and upfront planning.
So instead of trying to predict and control every aspect of the project from the outset,
Right.
Agile teams acknowledge that change is inevitable
Yeah.
and embrace a more adaptive and iterative approach.
Exactly. They work in short cycles,
Okay.
gather feedback frequently,
Yeah.
and make adjustments along the way, ensuring that the project stays aligned with the evolving needs of the stakeholders.
It sounds like a more dynamic,
Yeah.
responsive,
Yeah.
and people-centered approach to project management.
It is, and it's particularly well suited for projects in rapidly changing environments
Mm-hmm.
or where the requirements are likely to evolve over time.
Another trend that our source material highlights is the growing importance of data-driven decision-making.
Data is becoming the lifeblood of modern project management.
Project managers are using data to track progress,
Right.
identify risks,
Mm-hmm.
measure performance,
Yeah.
and make informed decisions that are backed by evidence rather than intuition.
They're leveraging tools like project management software, data analytics platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and even artificial intelligence
Okay.
to gain insights from the vast amounts of data generated by projects.
So it's not just about collecting data. It's about knowing how to interpret that data, extract meaningful insights,
Yeah,
and use those insights to make better decisions.
precisely. And that requires a different set of skills
Okay.
for project managers. The ability to analyze data, identify patterns,
Yeah.
and communicate those findings to stakeholders in a clear and compelling way.
It sounds like the role of a project manager is becoming more data savvy,
Yeah,
which makes sense given the increasing complexity and data-driven nature of our world.
absolutely. Now, alongside these exciting trends,
Yeah.
there are also some challenges
Okay.
that the field of project management is grappling with.
What are some of the roadblocks or obstacles
Yeah.
that project managers are facing in today's rapidly changing environment?
One challenge is the increasing complexity of projects.
Right. Projects are becoming more global, more interconnected,
Yeah.
and involve a wider array of stakeholders with diverse interests and perspectives.
Managing this complexity requires new skills, new tools,
Yeah.
and new ways of thinking about project management.
Another challenge that our sources emphasize is the growing demand for greater sustainability in project management.
As we become more aware of the interconnectedness of our world and the long-term consequences of our actions,
Right.
there's a growing expectation that projects should not only be successful in terms of meeting their objectives, but also sustainable in terms of their impact on the environment and society.
So it's not just about delivering the project on time and within budget. It's also about considering the project's carbon footprint, its impact on local communities,
Yeah.
and its contribution to a more sustainable future.
Precisely. And this requires a shift in mindset for many project managers who are accustomed to focusing primarily on the technical and operational aspects of projects.
It's about expanding the definition of project success to include not just the immediate deliverables,
Right.
but also the long-term well-being of the planet and its people.
And it's a challenge that requires creativity, innovation, and a willingness to collaborate with stakeholders from diverse backgrounds and perspectives.
Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of project management.
We have.
It's been an incredibly insightful journey,
It has.
and I feel like I've gained a much deeper understanding of this fascinating field.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you.
Oh, likewise.
And I hope our listener feels equipped with new knowledge and a fresh perspective on project management.
Absolutely. And before we sign off, is
Yeah.
there a final message
Okay.
or takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with?
Project management is a dynamic and evolving field that's full of challenges and opportunities. It's about more than just managing tasks, resources, and timelines. It's about leading with integrity,
Okay.
making ethical decisions,
Yeah.
and recognizing the profound impact that projects have on our world.
It's about bringing people together to
Yeah.
achieve a shared goal
Yeah.
and creating something that's not only successful, but also meaningful and sustainable.
And it's a journey that requires continuous learning, adaptation, and
Yeah.
a passion for making a positive difference.
Well said. To our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those questions coming.
Absolutely.
Until next time.
See you later.